I also love romanticizing having piles and piles of completed sketchbooks, and that resulted in piles and piles of unused sketchbooks. It's a very bad habit I'm sure many artists are guilty of, where I would start on a sketchbook and then go buy 2 more because either A, I convinced myself I need it in case I finished the first one, and B, the cover is really nice and I love the nice fresh smell of a brand new sketchbook. But that habit will end now. So, I had this zesty idea to get this thick sketchbook over here and push myself to completely fill this out from cover to cover by the end of the year. And to keep myself accountable and make an absolute fool of myself if I fail, I will be posting 1 video a month sharing a month's worth of sketches and my progress. Either that or y'all will see me mad dashing to get multiple pages of sketches done in a day. Now, I think you guys do have a pair of eyes, but you may have noted these marker tabs here. So in order for me to complete this in a timely manner and not procrastinate because I am destined to, I eyeballed approximately how far along in a sketchbook I need to be by the end of September, October, November, and obviously the home stretch to the end of December, which would be the back cover. So as of the time of recording this, on September 15, I have approximately this much to go. So obviously, it being halfway through the month, I'm going to spend my free time filling up some pages. So that hopefully by the end of the month when I record again, I will not be needing to fill out an ungodly amount of pages to catch up. But fast forward to today, which is September 26th, there is this much left, so we are seemingly good on pages. Hooray! So when you guys see sketchbook tours or flip-throughs in the wild, you're probably looking at something very beautiful, refined, and drop-dead gorgeous. Every sketchbook has beautiful double-page spreads. It's done in either a combination of marker, pen and ink, watercolors, anything goes. Like, are these really sketchbooks or just a collection of finalized illustrations in a sketchbook? I wouldn't be able to tell you that myself if I'm honest. But what I can show you is that my sketchbook is filled with absolute crap. Now, I can understand wanting to have a nice and presentable sketchbook so when you take it with you to draw outside, you can have a good impression when strangers or friends ask to flip through it. However, thinking that way personally does the opposite effect. When I have so much writing on my shoulders before the pen even hits the paper, I literally start checking out and not draw at all. After fighting the desire to have a sketchbook full of beautiful spread, I just embrace the gremlin that I am and scribble dank drawing to my heart content. Okay, what the heck is that? If you've seen any of my previous videos, you'd probably know this by now, but basically I can only put together rough draft on paper. I, for the life of me, cannot write my script digitally or type my ideas on my phone or draw the first sketch on a tablet. I mean, I can if I really try, but it just does not come naturally to me. So, that means all of my comic thumbnails, illustration ideas, YouTube thumbnails are always originating from a sketchbook. Here you can see these pages. This is where I had done the initial ideas of my most recent YouTube thumbnails. I wrote down keywords I wanted to include before even starting the first sketch, and then a couple pages later, I went and refined the original sketch to something more legible. Like, I can actually see what the heck I was thinking. I usually do roughly around 2 rough drafts of potential illustrations or comics on paper before transferring it to my digital drawing program on a tablet. My Webtoons and comic draft look something like this, and this is a different sketchbook since I didn't have an example in my current one. Here are some concept sketches for an animated short. Depending on how many tutorials I need to self-teach myself with to pull this off, it might take a couple of months, so I blurred it out just in case I just don't pull through. So the real meat and potatoes of my sketchbooks are, you guessed it, studies. I consider myself fairly early in my art journey, so I feel like I still don't know how to draw anything from imagination. So to teach myself to better understand things like hands or facial expressions or anatomy, I just zone out and do some low-stake studies from reference photos. The main reason why I didn't always show my sketchbook despite drawing in here all the time is because most of the pages are based on studies found on sites like Pinterest. So while I do draw these myself, I feel bad claiming it's 100% mine since it's not my photos, if that makes sense. But these chicken scratches here are 100% mine. I do have a couple more days until the end of September to knock these batches of pages to be on track in finishing the sketchbook by the end of the year. So I'm gonna take you with me to a cafe and get some drawing done. I'll talk to you guys later. So now we are back home and I caught up. I've also went a little over the tab here since I suspect October will be an even busier month than I planned for, so gotta brace myself. I am glad I started tackling the sketchbook or else it would be collecting dust along with my other unused sketchbooks. And it's also helped me with starting a morning warm-up habit. I used to literally hit the ground running when I sat down to draw and to get frustrated when I felt my hand wasn't drawing the lines I wanted it to. But doing a warm-up is like sketching before the gym, so when I did start with a warm-up, drawing came way more naturally when I started my to-do list. Funny how that works. So with that said, we are on track to filling out the sketchbook by the end of December. Candidly speaking, I want to do a sketchbook video like this once a month and then yap about random topics to keep it interesting. And I do want to eventually get to a point where I can draw beautiful sketchbook spreads from my imagination and find a new medium to experiment and have fun with. At last, I'm still in my training arc with my pen and paper, which is okay, we all need to start from somewhere. But we'll see. If I do end up making these sketchbook videos monthly, we might be able to see some cool drawing evolution. I hope with these videos you guys are also feeling inspired to draw along. And maybe if we do this monthly, you might be able to see some evolution in your own art as well. So that's the end of my September sketchbook check-in. I will see you guys at the end of October for the next sketchbook check-in. As always, thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. Keep drawing and wishing you all an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye!